The Twins and the Marlins are not done. Maybe trading with each other, at least for the moment, but they are still in talks to complete their teams with Yuli Gurriel. Just oddly enough that both teams, the Marlins and the Twins, are in talks with Yuli Gurriel, the 39-year-old free agent. We're going to talk about it in this video. I also will have a part 2. It's not really a part 2, but it's kind of another scenario with the Twins and the Marlins that will be coming later today. I don't want to spoil too many things there, but in this video, we are going to be talking about Yuli Gurriel. Does it make sense for either team to sign him? And then again, tease that little trade possibility at the end of this video. So Yuli Gurriel, it was reported by MLB Trade Rumors, I believe earlier today, maybe 25 or so minutes ago, that the Marlins are moving towards a deal with Yuli Gurriel, excuse me, but the Twins are also involved. So let's start with the free agency part of it, because this is exactly what the Marlins do literally every year. They've already done it a few times this year. They went out and got Gene Segura. They went out and got Johnny Cueto. I'm probably missing another guy in there as well. They go out and get guys on the wrong side of 30. They don't perform. Like, they had some success. They clearly are not going to perform like that, like they had their previous success with the Marlins. They're just cheap, or their contracts are bad, or something like that. They're used as trade bait, and then they ship them off in July when they're out of the race, because that's what the Marlins do. Well, this fits the bill, right? You've got Yuli Gurriel, who is a free agent now, first baseman, third baseman, DA. Like, this dude is not playing third base. You can tell me that right now, but he is, I would believe, a backup first baseman and / DH. Maybe you put him in the outfield, I guess, because I wouldn't say the Marlins are bad in the outfield, but that's where they need the most help because they're just younger guys, right? So Yuli Gurriel, bats right, throws right, had a pretty bad 2022. The dude was a negative WAR player, had an 84 OPS plus, 240 average, 8 home runs, 53 RBIs. He did steal 8 bases as a 38-year-old. That's pretty good, I would say. But this is coming off of a year in 2021 where he did really, really well. I mean, he got a ring in 2022. He got a ring in 2017 when he was part of the Rookie of the Year part of it. The dude has some success, but this year was awful. I just gave you those numbers. Last year in 2021, or 2 years ago now, 319 average, which led the league. Also led the league in sacrifice flies for whatever reason. You know, batted like 320, like I said. Had an OPS plus of 131. Very clearly the best year of his career up to that point. Also had 15 home runs and 81 RBI. A couple of years ago in 2019 with the juiced balls, he had 31 home runs. Like, the dude can hit. The dude was fine. He did whatever. Maybe 1 year too long in Houston, or, you know, that contract was just not really great. $8 million. So now he's a free agent. And like I said, this is exactly what the Marlins like to do. They go out and get guys who their contracts are getting expensive, but they sucked the year before, or they're just older players. The dude is going to be 39 years old, right? They could probably go get him. His contract last year was 1 year, $7 to $8 million. I'm guessing they would get him for at least half that. But just because of the year he had last year, it doesn't look great for Yuli Gurriel. But that doesn't come with experience for winning a World Series. The Marlins might need another backup, and depending on what they do, they've made so many moves lately. I don't think they're done. Maybe even with the Twins, like I was kind of teasing with, but they have Luis Arraez now, who can play first base. Probably will still play a lot of second base. Like they said, they were going to move Jazz to center field. We'll see if that happens. But they have Garrett Cooper, who will play first base. Both of those guys are right-handed, so maybe Cooper's out. Maybe. Like, who knows what the Marlins are really doing. I wouldn't be surprised if Jazz gets traded at some point this offseason. But they could use another first baseman, I think, especially with that experience. He's still got some pop, had a bad year, and maybe that lowers his price a little bit. Like I said, that's what the Marlins like to jump on. They like to go after those kind of guys. This makes sense for the Marlins. And like I said, MLB Trade Rumors had just reported that they are moving towards a deal with Gurriel. So, okay, the Marlins get another guy. They probably will have to DFA somebody or trade them. But let's focus on the Twins before we get into the trade aspect of it. So, the Twins on Yuli Gurriel, this makes sense. Not maybe from a player perspective, but from a need on a position perspective, right? I don't know exactly how many other first basemen, more power-hitting first basemen there are in the league, or at least free agents. None are really coming to mind off the top of my head. And if you're going to trade for somebody, you're probably going to have to give up more than just, they just gave up their batting champion. They don't have too many big pieces left that they can trade that would, they need to solidify their core, right? Correa, Buxton, they got a couple pitchers now with Lopez and Ryan. Like, they can't be trading too many more pieces. So they are going to have to go out and find somebody in free agency to fill that first base spot, or at least maybe platoon them, because you have Kirilloff there. They got rid of Sano. So I guess you go with a guy, right-hander bat. They need another right-hander. Yuli Gurriel does make sense. Now, from a player perspective, I don't really like this just because he is so old. This gives me and Logan Morrison was a lefty, and CJ Cron was a righty, but neither one of those guys were that old. This guy is 39 years old. He has probably got one season left, and I would guess that the Twins either would use, or the Marlins would use him as trade bait. Like I said, if somebody wants one more year of this guy in July, he does well this season, they can get rid of him for a low-level prospect or something like that. But otherwise, he's maybe got 1 year left, and he's just going to go out there and fill a need. Like I said, this guy reminds me a lot of CJ Cron, maybe Logan Morrison, Josh Willingham, maybe. I guess he was more of a left fielder, but I think a lot. Josh Willingham might be a perfect example as well. Let me look this up. His stats. This might be the absolute best comparison. Their WAR is very similar. He was a Silver Slugger back in 2012 with the Twins. Still batted around 260. That was probably his best overall season. I think for the 2 years that he was on the Twins, it might be exactly like Josh Willingham, where, he had 35 home runs that year before. Like we just said, Gurriel had a really good season in 2021. 2022, or in this case 2013, the dude had 14 home runs, 48 RBI, 208 average. He completely fell off a cliff. And then in 2014, after that, he got traded to Kansas City, I believe. He did play a few games with the Twins and just kind of continued to suck, right? So this is maybe the perfect example of this guy. He's an older guy. Willingham was 35. Yeah, he still got some power. Cron had some power. Morrison had some power. They were first basemen. Willingham was the left fielder, so position-wise it doesn't, add up, but statue and kind of player he was. That is exactly what Gurriel will probably do, and maybe, again, you can trade him for a low-level prospect. Maybe he just fills the need that you have for him there. Here's where it gets interesting, and here's what I want to tease. In the next video, I don't know if the Marlins and the Twins are done trading with each other, okay? In the next video, I'm going to talk about Kepler, right? Kepler was the reason for the trade. Like, he was supposed to be traded for Lopez, and then there was going to be some other parts to it. So, is it possible that Gurriel signs with either club, and that is an extra piece for the team to trade? The Twins have done this before. They get a guy, they trade him right away. Is this an opportunity for Kepler and Gurriel to go to the Marlins for another player, or go to the Marlins and then they trade for Kepler? We're going to talk about that in the next video, but a little bit of a spoiler, or teaser, I should say, for that. So look forward to that. But if you guys did enjoy this video, let me know. I would love for you guys to comment and subscribe if you do enjoy these kind of conversations, topics, but also I would love to know your opinion. That's why I do these videos. Is Yuli Gurriel, is he needed somewhere on either of these two teams? Is it a good move for either team, or is this guy washed, like maybe Josh Willingham had a good season and then fell off a cliff and just kind of, filled a spot? So let me know what you guys think about Yuli Gurriel on either team, if it's a good move. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.